Terence Atmane has reached the semifinals in Cincinnati and surprised everyone, and he's done that by hitting huge forehands. So let's take a look at this phenomenal forehand. I absolutely love his forehand technique. He's obviously a lefty. He's got all the typical stuff in place. He turns his shoulders past his hips. He loads his lower body. A lot of good things in place. Obviously now he uncoils from the ground up. Okay, so he presses with the legs into the ground, hips uncoil first, shoulders uncoil, and now he has tremendous lag here, okay? And that is the secret to his huge forehand. That's why his forehand is bigger than so many other forehands. And how does he build that? Very typical in today's game. The tip of the racket is pointing to the outside here. Okay, and now as he starts to swing forward, the tip of the racket really points back, and you can see here it's almost parallel to the baseline, which creates a tremendous amount of lag in the forearm muscles here, and that's why this forehand is so huge. Now, definitely this should not be copied by most club level players. This is tough to do. This is advanced. I always say it's like driving a Ferrari. You have to be a very good driver to do this because you have to be stable around contact in tennis, and most club players cannot stabilize this sort of movement around contact, and then you start shanking a lot of balls. So if you have very good fundamentals, you're an advanced player, then you can experiment with this sort of stuff. But this is the kind of do not try this at home technique. His forehand is absolutely phenomenal. I love watching it. I'll be very curious to see how he does against Sinner. And you can see here again, tip of the racket is pointing to the outside, and even though he's a little bit on the run, he creates a tremendous amount of lag. Okay, so that's his arm right now, kind of like that, and that's his racket, and the angle is so extreme, and that's what all the top forehands in the world have in common. And that basically means now the tip of the racket is relatively far away from the ball, and in a short period of time the tip of the racket catches up, and so by definition the racket moves very fast here, okay? And then what he also does well is he uncoils the upper body. Now look at this, the upper body is still now as all the energy gets transferred into the arm. This is something a lot of people don't understand. You uncoil the segments sequentially, but now that the upper body is uncoiled, the upper body is done uncoiling 99% and becomes really still, and the racket speeds up tremendously. Also keeps his head still here. Just an absolutely phenomenal forehand.